Hello, everybody. This will be a brief video. We're going to get into the significance of why the United States, the industry in itself, is pushing so hard in regard to ISO 222 messaging and so on. Like, there's going to be consequences for even the United States if they don't push hard for this. Could affect in the future things like the digital dollar. You're definitely going to want to hear what we have to share with the findings. Consider smashing that like if you haven't done so already. Let's jump into the material and why it matters to you.
If managing your crypto feels like solving a puzzle, it's time to switch to Decent Wallet. Just a few taps, you can manage, track, and secure your crypto with unmatched ease. And here's the best part. Grab your Decent Wallet at a discounted price by using the referral link below. Don't miss out on making your crypto experience smoother and more secure.
First thing we're going to pull up is, again, from Smoke, doing it big. He has this. He states people have no idea. Maybe you feel as though you're one of those people. No knock on you guys. But most people have no idea how critical the ISO 222 migration and adoption of ISO compliant assets like your XRPs, XLMs, XTCs, and others really are. In the document below, the United States industry's push to adopt ISO 222 messaging standard for electronic payments is the focus, everybody. Even without a clear business case, the consensus was clear. Transitioning to ISO 222 is essential. Failing to adopt these international standards could have devastating long-term consequences for businesses, banks, and even the US dollar. That sounds absolutely crazy. Let's get more into this. So, as we scroll down, it says this is no small change. It's a complete overhaul of the financial landscape that will impact how money moves on a global scale. If the United States and the world don't make the shift, they risk falling behind, and the consequences will be felt across economies. Very true. Assets like XRP, XLM, XDC, which are already compliant with ISO 222, will play a pivotal role in the future of payments. This isn't something to take lightly. Those who don't adapt will be left behind in a financial ecosystem that's rapidly changing. This is the next step in the evolution of money, and ignoring it is not an option. All right, so what is Smoke referencing here? Well, I'm going to blow it up on the next particular screen. He shows this. Here's the highlight. Even without a clear business case, the group recommended transitioning to ISO 222 because a failure to adopt international standards could have negative long-run impacts on businesses, banks, and even the US dollar. Say what you want. That is very, very important to recognize some of these key things. And on top of that, what we're going to now kick it over to Jesse because I think he has a lot to share in regard to the importance of the United States, especially the United States, their push moving forward. Jesse.
Yeah, so hey guys, hope all is well. Thanks for dropping in. I really appreciate you. And yeah, so my understanding is if you don't adopt the ISO standard, like your bank cannot function. Like you got to be if you don't adopt it, your bank cannot move money. Like your bank is almost obsolete. That's my understanding anyways. And so that cutoff is literally it's exactly that. Like you're cut off if you don't adopt it. So if my understanding is correct, and I'm like 99.9999% sure that it is, I don't know how accurate this article is because like they have no choice. It's not an option from my understanding, but I may be wrong there. But from my understanding, it's almost like the banking system. They wouldn't be able to send payments internationally anymore. Is my understanding, but I may be wrong. It's just I don't know why they're making it sound like it's kind of an option. That's where I'm confused. What do you think about that, bud? What are your thoughts? Because to me, it's not an option.
No, it's not an option at all because the way I look at it is basically understanding that MX is the new standard moving forward. Yes, that's introduced from Swift back in 2004, but it took time to incorporate these standards, especially with technology and so on. I always use this as an example, like me hosting a game server. You have a big log file. Well, if the log file got too big, it would create what is referred to as log file truncation. any of you guys that know when I'm talking about this, they're coders or work in IT or whatever the case be. Truncation will cause the message to get garbled up. It literally looks like on the screen a bunch of gibberish. So some people say, well, other languages look like gibberish. No, that's not the case. It's recognizing that time is money, so the message will still get sent, right? You mentioned, like, you know how will they still move money? The answer would be it's still going back to the 70s or what we have presently with MT. So the message gets sent, but again, you're not on this new powerful ISO 222 system where it literally shows all the details of what's happening in that particular transaction. No, we want out of the old and into the new. That's the whole point of why, whether it's Ripple or, let's face it, Swift introducing this in 2004, where we go moving forward. We're moving forward with it all. We're not, innovation always wins, as the saying goes. You're not having a case of another .com bubble or any of that nonsense that people cite. Now you're totally moving forward. Messages don't get truncated. And how about this? They get interpreted, Jesse. If we're sending a cross-border payment from the Central Bank of Venezuela to the Central Bank of South Korea, well, geez, I mean, my goodness, one's in Spanish, right? The other one is basically in what? That's in South Korean characters. Before, oh, geez, I mean, you would have to have the bank branch manager, whoever it is,
Mm.
call and say, hey, guess what? Our message totally got truncated because we don't have the technology to interpret this.
But
And time is money. So it gets truncated, and then it gets stuck there.
no,
Like,
but
there's no real-time gross settlement there. It's stuck.
yeah, but well, my understanding though is that literally you can't use Swift if you don't migrate over. That's my understanding, but I may be wrong. No, I'm asking you because my understanding is if you don't migrate over to the ISO, you can't use Swift. It's almost like my understanding is Swift is telling you if you don't migrate over, you can't send transfers anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Like you're cut off is my understanding. But
Right. So what would be the alternative? That's what
nothing.
people ask. I
Nothing.
agree. There would be nothing.
Your bank is over. Is my understanding.
But
Like you.
okay, so also, just real quick, we've also shared this before. I don't know if it was with you, but it mentions specifically in the documentation contingency. And we know
Mhm.
by definition, contingency means an emergency. So there's emergency plan. So my thing is back to Gilbert Verdian with a bridge to all legacy, right? Even Stellar on and off ramps, even Ripple. We have bridges to all the legacy systems. So even with the oh crap moment for those banks, the utility of your XRPs, your Stellar XLMs, your XDCs, and et cetera, Algorand, especially with, like, Italy and whatnot. Obviously, Algorand's so much more than Italy, but it's a contingency plan that says, yeah, if you guys didn't migrate over on that mandate, well, the backup would be these particular technologies. So either way, the technology is going to be used, and it benefits us as the holders with literally the tokens that represent the technologies behind that all, which is the
Yeah.
infrastructure.
Yeah.
That's always where it's been at. So I wouldn't sweat it as far as us, but I would definitely sweat it if I was a bank that didn't, or get
Mm.
off,
Oh yeah.
saying it, get off the pot, right? Like they need to do something, and
Mhm.
I think most of them will, but there will be a few stragglers that'll get left behind. So anyway, there you guys have it. It's a quick video. We want to share it, get some of the perspective. That's my perspective. That's Jesse's perspective. Do us
Mhm.
a solid if you listen to the entire short, brief outline and type in this key term, quick outline, and we'll know that you listen to the entire
Nice.
video. We'll go, excuse me, on behalf of myself and Jesse of Apex Crypto Consulting NFA. Know what you have, know what you hold it. The research trumps flood, 110%. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Thank you guys.